Hello, this is Harlan Parrott again. We're coming to you today with another lesson on the guitar. And what we're going to do today, if you can remember by the way we studied what makes the major scale and how to make the major scale on any string at any place on the guitar in our last lesson. Well, this lesson we're going to take that major scale and we're going to show you a little bit more about it and how to apply that to a guitar chord. You know, many people learn lots of guitar chords out of books, but they don't have any idea what they are actually learning. They just know where to put their fingers and that's it. But we're going to teach you today why. The why is more important than anything else. And we'll take, for example, we'll use the C major scale because it has no sharps nor flats in it. Okay? We can start on any C note, any place. So we'll start here on the second string, the first fret. That's a C note. And we go, remember the major scale? 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret, 2 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret. Okay? Now, we can take that C scale, we can count from 1 through 7, and then we come back to the number 8, which is the octave. So the first note would be C. That's number 1. Remember that, it's real important. Number 1, you come up to 2 frets, that's number 2. Come up 2 more frets, that's number 3. Come up 1 fret, that's number 4. 2 more frets, that's number 5. 2 more frets, that's number 6. 2 more frets, that's number 7. 1 more fret, you come back to 8 or the octave. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now you can play that on any string and you still have the C scale and it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 8. Notice there is a distance of 7 between each octave. Have you noticed that? There's 7. So it would count on, for example, if you started with C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We would keep counting over and over. But watch this. It would start with 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that's where we get all these chord names. There's a distance of 7. If you take, for example, go up to C, for example, we add 7 to it, we got 8. So the octave is the 8th interval. Then the 9th would be number 2, because we add 7 to 2, we get 9. Then number 3, we have 10. Number 4, we have 11. Number 5, we have 12. And number 6, we have 13. So number 8 is the same as number 1, only an octave higher. The note number 2, which is the same thing as a 9, is where we get 9th chords from. Number 3 is a 10. Number 4 is an 11. It's where we get 11th chords from. Number 12 is, you take 7 from that, and we got 5. Then number 6, we add 7 to that, we get 13. So the 6th note is a 13th note. The 4th note is an 11th note. And the second note is a 9th note. And all these put together, we come up with a thing called a chord formula or chord family. And we have major chords, minor chords, 9th chords, minor 6th chords, 13th chords, 7 flat 9 plus 5 chords, all types of names. We're going to start off today with a very simple chord, and it's called the C chord. Any major chord, now this is important, any major chord has to be made by putting together the number 1 interval, the number 3 interval, and the number 5 interval. So if we look at that from the key of C, C would be number 1. Okay? Number 5, or number 3 would be C. C's 1, D's 2, E is number 3. So we need an E note in there. We need a G note. There's E, F, G, that's number 5. So we have the 1, 3, 5, which is C, E, G. That is in the C major scale. We have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's the way it works. And that's all the notes there are. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That's it. When you have sharps and flats, which is one interval up, one fret up, well, it's a half of a tone, or one fret down, which is a half a tone down, and you have called sharps when it goes up and flats when it comes down. And we have all that, which we will get into later. But to make the simple major chord, we have to have the first note of the scale, no matter what chord it is, the third note of the scale, and the fifth note of the scale. So in the key of C, we would have C, we would have E, which is number 3, and G. Now we can find those particular combinations all over this guitar, in even a piano or any other instrument, basically. Any string instrument, for sure. So here's the C. How do we know it's a C? Because we started with the A string here. The A string, between A and B, there's 2 frets. Between B and C, there's 1 fret. Here's another little interesting thing to give you. Remember when we started off learning the major scale, we said it was 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret. 2 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret. So if we count C, or the first note of the scale, as being 1, 2, 3, 4, we would have C, D, E, F. F would be number 4. Between the 3 and the 4, there's only 1 fret. Okay? Then we go on down, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and we go from between B, which is 7, and 8, back to the octave, there's also only 1 fret, or 1/2 tone. That's the way it is in every major scale. Between the 3rd and 4th interval, and between the 7th and 8th interval, there's only 1/2 tone, or 1 fret on the guitar or a string instrument. You got that? Try to keep that in mind, and you might have some extra material that you might get to give you a little more data on that. But basically, as we start off with C, we took off C, which is 1, 2, 3, but notice there we had 2 frets, 2 frets, then 1 fret. That's the way it is on every scale. Then 2 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret. Between 7 and 8, there's 1 fret, or 1/2 tone. Now this is important. Now we're going to give you the notes, show you some of the intervals. Take a note C, for example. We have, if we want to make the C major chord, we have to have C, E, G, which is the 1st, 3rd, and 5th tone of the C major scale. This is the way it works on every major scale. They're different for the different chords you have because the major scale has different letters to it, but the intervals are the same. Between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8, there's 1 fret. All the others have 2 frets, or a whole tone between those. Now, if we come back to our C, we want to find 3 notes to make the C major chord. The first one is C. That's number 1. Then D, E. There's number 3. Lo and behold, there's an E. E, F, G. There's number 5. See that? That's a G string. Now you can sit there and find those 3 notes all over this guitar, as we said previously. Here's a C. And we can add more than 1 C note. Here's a C note. There's a C note. There's a G note. And there's a G note. We can make a C this way. We can add this G on the very top end here, which is the bottom string. We can add 1 in the top here. Or we can even have the top string open, which is another E. It don't matter if you have 2 E's, 2 C's, 2 G's. That's still a C major chord. Hear that? Now watch this. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to find another C. We start here. There, G, A, B, C. There's a C note. There's a D, E. There's a C, E, and then the G on the bottom. See that? We can come here and find it. Here. We can find it all over the guitar. It's just all over the guitar. Okay, now that's the way it is with every chord. We could do a C. And we can do a D. We can do all types of chords. But I want you to learn this basic lesson today. This is a little bit longer than the ones previous to this, but it's important that you learn what tones make a major chord. If you learn this, you can learn all types of chords. All types of chords. And we'll get into those later and show you how to do those. The next lesson, I'm going to divert off of this for a moment and show you how to play the actual modes themselves with the chords like this. There's a lot of stuff involved in this, and we want you to learn it a piece at a time. And so I hope next time you'll get more information than you did this time even. Thank you for watching. This is Harlan.